Hello, everybody. Welcome back to United by 4, the West Ham United versus Manchester United Premier League preview. Manchester United travel to London Stadium on Sunday, the 27th of October. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff against the Hammers away from home. And look at we're coming into this game after the back of a 1-1 draw against Fenerbahce in the Europa League. A previous game in the Premier League was a 2-1 victory at Old Trafford last Saturday against Brentford. It was a good performance in that game. But look, there's no time to lie on the game against Brentford. This has been recorded the day after we drew against Brentford 1-1. It's a bit of a frustrating result, in all honesty. A bit of a frustrating result, I thought. But look, some are taking the point. I always want to win. That's just how I am. I'm greedy like that. But again, please like the video, comment your thoughts on the upcoming game, and do subscribe if you haven't already. And as you can see, there will be no watch long on Sunday. I won't be able to watch long because of you. So yeah, there will be no watch long for the game against West Ham, but there should be one for the good one against Leicester next Wednesday in the Carabao Cup. So she'll be back then. And yeah, hopefully we can get the win on Sunday. If we win convincingly on Sunday and play well, just goes to show that I'm a jinx and there'll be no watch alongs again. But no, let's jump into the preview. We'll throw our form in to this because look, our form isn't great, let's be brutally honest with you. So as you can see, a 3-0 loss against Tottenham, a 3-3 draw against Porto, a 0-0 draw against Aston Villa, a 2-1 win against Brentford, and a 1-0 draw against Fenerbahce. So 1 win, 3 draws, and 1 loss in our previous 5. I mean, look, you can look at these games and you can take positives, negatives, whatever you want. Tottenham game, we shouldn't be losing like that, especially against Tottenham. I don't care, especially against Tottenham. We shouldn't be losing like that. But we did because we were shit and they were the better team on the day. Porto, look, again, another game you can look at it as a positive, negative, bit of both. We were 2 goals ahead. We came back. Porto came back from 2 goals down to go 3-2 ahead. Bruno gets sent off. Maguire comes on, scores the late equaliser, ends 3-3. Villa, again, I think we all expect to go into that game and expect a beating. We didn't look enough, so a point at Villa, I'll take it. 2-1 win against Brentford was deserved. You played very well now, in all fairness. So, again, happy enough with that. And again, Fenerbahce, we drew 1-1 against Fenerbahce. Should we have won? You're going to play Turkey, a team, Turkish club, who have decent players, decent manager. The atmosphere was always have a loud atmosphere for their game. So, look, like I said, I would have liked us to win. I think we need to win. We need to start winning games in the Europa League. I know this is a Premier League preview, but we need to start winning games in the Europa League, or else we're going to make life tough for ourselves because we have 3 games played, 3 points, 3 draws, no wins, no losses, not good enough. But look, as you can see coming into this game, it's going to be interesting because West Ham aren't playing great. They haven't had a great start to the season under their new man, Julian Lopetegui. We haven't started the season great either, to be honest with you. I was actually looking at West Ham's form, and it's actually similar to us in terms of, the wins, draws, and losses, obviously. But I do think this is another must-win game. We need to get points. As much as we need to get points in the Europa League, we also need to get points in the Premier League to get up the table, get us into the top 4, just keep ourselves battling, because I think we're like 10th or 11th in the Premier League at the moment. So another win could hopefully push us up the table and push us up the table even further, because it would be ideal if we could push ourselves up the table and just battle, because the way things look in the Europa League, it looks like we're going to make hard work of that. We're definitely going to make hard work for the top 4. We're going to make hard work for everything we get, really. We made hard work to win the FA Cup and whatnot, so I'm sure we'll make hard work of everything else that we have a chance to clinch. Look, like I said, I do think this is a must win. Every game is a must win, especially for Ten Hag. Every game for Eric Ten Hag at this moment of time is a must win. and it's a must-win for us as well to push ourselves up the table, build a bit of momentum, build a bit of confidence. And again, you can also look at that and say, do you know what? We haven't lost a game in our last 3 games. Yeah, but we've only won 1 out of our last 3. So you know what I mean. You can take it's with Manchester United. You can always there's always going to be a negative somewhere in there. There always is. But look, I think defensively this season we're not too bad. We're not conceding a lot. Again, we can see the 3 against Porto, 3 against Spurs, 3 against Liverpool. I think 3 is the most we've conceded. So yeah, but like that's not being too shabby. Don't want to jinx it, but I feel like we were a bit more tighter at the back. Is that because of the midfield's a bit better? I tell you, obviously we brought in the late. We have to see Mazraoui as well. We have to see Euro play in the Premier League for Manchester United. So I'll be excited to see when he comes back into action. And if we ever get Luke Shaw and Malacia back before at least 2020, 2050, it'd be an absolute gift. But I mean, Jesus Christ, we're nearly going to have to bring back Patrice Evra at this point to play left back. Let's be honest, he's probably more fit as well, and he's been retired how long? But yeah, no, look, it's not been too bad. Onana, had a good game against Fenerbahce. Was a part in the game. Made 2 absolute crucial saves. Even Mourinho couldn't believe it, and he's meant to be the special one. He's meant to be the one taking the headlines. What he did in all fairness, but it's we don't concede a lot. Is what I'm trying to say. We don't concede a lot. Is what I'm trying to say. And look, our back 5 this season hasn't really changed as much. It's always sort of being Onana, Dalot left back, De Ligt, Martinez, Mazraoui. Obviously, Johnny Evans came in. Unfortunately, he got out. He's out injured. The same with Harry Maguire as well. So our sort of back 5 has always been Onana, Dalot, Liche, De Ligt, Mazraoui. And the last game against Brentford, it was Onana, Liche left back, Evans, De Ligt, and Dalot, which was actually It was actually nice to see Dalot play right back. Liche, it was interesting to see how he'd come up against Wimo, who's a good winger, and just to see how we do playing left back in general. I think the last time Liche played left back was against Manchester City in the Community Shield. So yeah, it was interesting. But obviously, he played left back against Fenerbahce for the first 50 minutes, 60 minutes, and then he went back into his usual position and it was back to the same back 5 that we've seen since the start of the season again. But for this game, of course, we do have Bruno Fernandes, who will be returning. Obviously, he was out suspended for the game against Fenerbahce because he got sent off against Porto. Again, like Bruno this season, look, he hasn't been great in fairness. He hasn't been his good old self like we always see. But, you're only as good as your last game, and we weren't really that outstanding in our last game, to be honest with you. We sort of struggled a bit, as always, in European games and all games. We played Mazraoui in the 10, which was a big shock. Like, that was probably the shock of the night. Playing Mazraoui in the 10. But according to Ten Hag, he can play there, and he has played there, and whatever. At Ajax back in his day. I don't want to see Mazraoui playing the 10 again. I would have been more than happy to see Xerxes playing the 10 or even Eriksen. I thought that midfield for the game against Fenerbahce was going to be Casemiro, Ugarte, and Eriksen. We all thought that was going to be the midfield trio to play Fenerbahce, and I wasn't. It was far. It was we weren't even close because it was Mazraoui there. Now, obviously, with a bit of suspicion, maybe we would have played Xerxes there or maybe Ahmad there. But I do think we probably would have been a little bit better with Bruno in that. I mean, look, I know, like I said, he hasn't been great. People like drop him. And that game against Fenerbahce was the game to say, do you know what? We'll drop him. Play Eriksen in the 10 and Ugarte and Casemiro behind in the double pivot. And let's see how we do in that game. Let's experiment it. Obviously, we did have that, but I would have liked to see it for more of the game. And we didn't see it for more of the game. We've seen it for half an hour, 20 minutes or something like that. So I just don't. I just didn't get it, and I think we probably would have been a little bit better with Bruno there because he is a 10. He is attacking midfielder. He can be a playmaker. He can pick out a pass. Masraoui, well, he had a part to play in the Ericsson goal. Now I will give it to him. That was a good bit of build up to that goal as well. So we did have a part to play, but I just felt like when you have, like, again, we don't press. Even with Bruno, we don't press. But it was very odd seeing Masraoui playing that 10 yesterday. And whatever Ten Hag, whatever experiment he was trying to do or whatever, it didn't work. It just didn't work. I'm looking at Ten Hag can look at it like I just mentioned. Look, he scored. He had a part to play in the Ericsson goal and all that. Anyways, but going forwards, that's not good enough. That is not. There's no future behind that. Like, touch wood, but Bruno picks up a long-term injury or a 3-game suspension or whatever. Are we going to see Masraoui playing the 10 again? I hope not. I hope he have Ericsson in the 10 or Mount in the 10 if he's fit. Because I feel like if Mount was fit yesterday, which he never seems to be fit these days, it probably would have been Mount in the 10 with Ericsson and Ugarte or Casemiro. You just don't know. So we are running very, very slim on midfielders at the moment. We really, really are. No Mainu, no Mount. And we always said an injury to Mainu, we're going to look tight in that midfield and Mount. So it just goes to show we still need to bring in a midfielder or two, whether that's another 10, whether that's another DM. Let's do that. Because Mount for me just isn't good enough for this club, to be brutally honest with you. But again, even with Bruno, we seem to be lacking a bit of goals. Goals seems to be what we lack. I think the most goals we scored this season was 7 against Barnsley, but in the Premier League was 3, and that was against Southampton. And we sort of kicked on at that game when Onana saved the penalty around the 35th minute or something like that. So again, I do think with us we do struggle to create in some games, and to just score goals in general, Like I liked our attack last weekend against Brentford. I thought it was very good. I liked the way it was Rashford on the right, Garnacho on the left, Rasmus up top. Rasmus, he was aggressive. He pushes defenders back. He loves, he's up for a physical battle if called upon. So he's up for that. Has a bit of pace, a bit of a player there. Which again, I was also surprised that he was dropped for the game against Fenerbahce. But I thought, stick to the same team. Obviously, Bruno has to come out forcefully due to suspension, but besides that, stick to the same team. But I do think we are better with Rasmus up top than we are Ziggs. But again, it's still early days for Ziggs. So I don't want to sit here. Look, it took Rasmus how long to get up and run at Manchester United, so I'm not going to sit here and say, he's this, he's that. I'm not like other fans. I don't want to do that. Do we give him till the new year, or do we just give him until next summer and see how things pan out? You just never know. You really just never know. But, our average goal scored per match is 0.88. And average goals, that's not good enough. And we create 2.38 chances created per match. Look, that's in the Premier League as well, by the way, not any other competition. That's just in the Premier League. West Ham actually have more average goals scored per match, and they have less chances created per match. So we can create, but we just don't score. We just don't score that. And 0.88, goals scored per average goals scored per match is not good enough. It's just not good enough. If you want to make top 4 compete, it really, really isn't. And again, I also hope in this game where I always say, look at me previous watch-alongs. Look at the previous 2, especially Brentford and Fenerbahce. Brentford, we didn't press in the first half. It was a half-hearted press. Second half, we pressed. We upped the intensity. We had a control in the game. And we played very well. We won. I feel like Manchester United when we bring more, when we rise, when we bring in more intensity and we press a lot more as a team, not as one, as a team, we are better. We are better at pressing, and we have heart. With Fenerbahce, it's a bit like Cowan and Horn, and we let teams play from the back. We let the keeper have a couple of, longer than he should with the ball. Whereas as soon as that keeper gives it out, we should be on them. Look at your Manchester Cities, look at your Liverpools, look at your Arsenals. I know they're better than us at the moment, obviously, especially Manchester City, they're miles ahead of the rest. They press as soon as there's a short kick out and it falls to the defender or it's given back to the keeper, they press. As soon as that kick out was taken shortly or whatever, they press. We need to press as well. It's like we're afraid to, it's like we don't trust the back if the ball's over the top. But the whole team doesn't have to press. You can go where you say Sunday we have Garnacho playing, Rasmus, Bruno and Rashford. Have them for press. Have them for press and then have the midfield push up. Like everyone push up. You know what I mean? Everyone push up. You don't have to go all the way up to do that. Have like a 4-2-4 when they just to press. Have a 4-2-4 or a 4-4-2 to press. You know what I mean? 4-4-2 is what we're doing against Brentford. We need to press. And I do like when we press a lot higher and we bring more intensity into the game. Look, I want to speak about this man before we move on to West Ham and obviously team news. Obviously, he didn't get a bit. He came on for the last couple of minutes last night against Fenerbahce. He wasn't a happy camper, and rightly so. Because look, when I seen Anthony come on, I think I definitely said it. What did Ahmad do? What did Ahmad do to not get minutes? I think Ahmad is better than Anthony. I'll say that. And no one can disagree with me there, I think, on that one. I hope he does get more game time. Look, if he starts on Sunday and he's replacing Rashford or Garnacho, I will not complain. When Ahmad plays in general, I don't complain because I think he's a good player and he's very good with the ball. I do like how he plays. But I think people like Ahmad, they'll just get pissed off and they'll eventually think, you know what, the manager seems to be trusting me or backing me. I'm not getting as much minutes as I'd like to. I'm going to head off elsewhere. And that is a worry. I think he'll want to, look, there might come to a stage where he'll want to leave, but Ten Hag won't want to let him go. So we do have to give him more game time or else you will start I don't think you could go before, so I just think look, I'm not getting game time. I don't seem to be getting the backing or the trust. I'd like to move on elsewhere to another club that'll give me minutes and game time and trust if I'm not going to get it here. Simple as that. That's just how I'd go about it. But again, in terms of team now, so far, Manu obviously be out. Euro, Maguire, Shaw, Malacia, Mount. Obviously, Anthony came off, so wouldn't be surprised if he's out. Hard to know. Suppose Ten Hag is keeping his fingers crossed for Johnny Evans, but that just seems to be how it is. But look, let's start. Let's go into our opponents here at West Ham United. So here's the previous 5 games. So, again, not a great start to the season for them. A 3-0 loss against Chelsea, a 5-1 loss against Liverpool, a 1-1 draw against Brentford, a 4-1 victory against Ipswich Town, and a 4-1 defeat against Tottenham Hotspur last weekend. So 1 win, 1 draw, 3 losses. Similar to ours, by the way. I think we have 1 win, 3 draws, and 1 loss, or something like that. So again, West Ham haven't been firing on all cylinders either. Obviously, Kudus got a red card last weekend against Tottenham, so he will miss this game, thankfully enough. I think Nicholas Fulkrug, who they signed in the summer, will be out for this game. So again, that'd be interesting to see. So look, they haven't been great, West Ham. They have 1.38 average goals scored per match. Average goals conceded per match was 1.88, and their chances created per match was 1.5. Manchester United's average goals conceded per match was 1.13. So, I'm looking at Lopetegui. He likes possession. He likes his team to have a lot of possession. He likes a three-man midfield, but in most games he goes with a 4-2-3-1, so he might go with a 4-2-3-1 once again. But that'll be, that could be it could be well be a 4-3-3, but it could be Alvarez, Souček, Paqueta, 4-2-3-1. But again, if that's 4-3-3, it seems to be the formation it's his preferred formation. He likes his team to have control, dictate the tempo of the game, and basically win more advantages on the pitch, and especially the key areas as well. He likes his full backs. He likes playing out from the back, using his full back. So that would be Emerson Wan-Bissaka, a former Manchester United player. And he likes his midfielders dropping back. So he likes, basically, he's possession based. He's a possession based sort of man, but he likes his team to dictate the tempo of the game, and that's pretty much how he is. Look, West Ham's danger man for me has always been Jarrod Bowen. I think he's a good player for West Ham. Paquette is also another good player as well. You have to give it to the lad. But West Ham's under Lopetegui, they have him in grey. They are 15th in the league. We're 12th. They have 2 wins. We have 3. They have 2 games drawn alongside us and 4 losses, and we have 3. So both sides coming into this game, definitely not lighting the world alight. Both sides looking for a win. West Ham probably looking a lot. I think we need to win more than West Ham, to be honest. But look, I'm sure the pressure's probably on Ten Hag more than it is Lopetegui, because you don't expect much at West Ham. But I do think Lopetegui, he seems to be no different today, in my opinion. But look, if any West Ham fans are watching this preview, let us know what you think of Lopetegui. Are you going to back him? Would you like to see him go? Was it the wrong decision to sack Moyes? I think it was always coming that they were going to sack Moyes. It was always coming. I think he won the Conference League, was it 2 summers ago? Sort of bought him another year at the club, and then it was good luck and thanks. But look, they haven't been great, but they do have Paqueta, they have Antonio, they have Bowen, they have our former man Wan-Bissaka, they have Alvarez, who's not too shabby as well, Somerville, Souček. So they do have a few threats, but Bowen, Paqueta, Antonio, definitely the main 3 threats for me. Look, let's jump into my predicted 11. So it is Onana in goals, a back 4 of Dalot left back, Martinez and Dalot as the centre back partnerships, and Mazraoui right back. A midfield trio of Manuel Ugarte, Christian Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes return into the fold. And an attacking line of Garnacho on the left, Rashford on the right, and Rasmus Højlund up top. I was debating, was it going to be Eriksen, Casemiro? I always had Eriksen playing, but I was debating whether to put Casemiro and take out Ugarte. But I think Ugarte didn't do too shabby against Fenerbahce. But look, it may well be Eriksen Casemiro on Sunday against West Ham. Look, like I said about Ahmad, if he starts, whether that's replacing Rashford or Garnacho, I think there's more chance of him replacing Garnacho, because I don't think Ten Hag would want to drop Rashford, especially for his pace, and he's not doing too shabby as well lately. I think there's more chance of Garnacho coming out and Ahmad coming in, and then Rashford going on to the left wing and Ahmad going to the right wing, obviously. Look, hopefully having Bruno back is better. I think people are still disappointed that we didn't see the midfield of Ugarte, Casemiro and Eriksen on the Thursday for the whole game. I know we've seen it for large parts, I think half an hour, 20 minutes, and we actually didn't do too bad then, so it would have been nice to see it for a lot longer. But look, in terms of score prediction, look, I was debating 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 1-0 Manchester United, 0-0. I'm going to back us on. I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory to Manchester United. I'm going to back the boys to win on Sunday. I'm going to go with Rasmus and Garnacho. And for them, I'm going to go with Antonio to score for West Ham. But Højlund and Garnacho to score for us. But okay, this has been the West Ham United versus Manchester United Premier League preview. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like the video, comment your predictions and all that good stuff, and do subscribe if you haven't already. And like I said, there will be no watch along Sunday, but she'll be back Monday for the preview on the Leicester game and all that good stuff and talking about this game, and hopefully it's a Manchester United win. Thanks, buddy, for watching. I'll speak to you on the next one. Come on, United, let's get the win. Come on, the boys. Speak to you on the next one, Reds.